What's up, guys? It's the NFL draft is passed. We're here. We're here to talk about it. Who missed? Who hit? Who got drafted where they should have? Who got drafted probably where we didn't see them going? Who surprised? Who are we sleeping on? Let's talk about it, Mike. What's going on?
Yes, we are the Amateur Fanboy Podcast, and my name is Mike Hurtaza, and your name is?
Chase Aguirre.
So
Get
today,
that name right. I'm telling you.
what we're
Anyway,
doing is we waited a couple days for this to sink in for the draft, so we don't get like a on the spot reaction.
yep,
Um, I guess the non surprises: Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okuda.
yeah,
The Giants drafting a tackle, Dolphins
yep.
drafting Tua or a quarterback. The
But those are all
Chargers,
things we expected. Yeah.
I was buying into the hype that the Chargers were not going to draft a quarterback, but it wasn't surprising that they drafted a quarterback.
I told you they're going to draft a
I know.
quarterback.
I wanted
Told
to buy
you.
into the hype that they weren't going to do it because I wanted to see where Herbert was going to
I had,
fall.
I had, I had people telling me I mean, I already thought they were going to take a quarterback, but I had people telling me that they thought they were going to fucking trade up for Tua. Like, I knew they were going to draft a quarterback. I'm just surprised they drafted the one they did. I'm not going to lie.
Well, from my understanding, they were going to draft whoever was left, and they were never going to
That's
move
true.
up.
Yeah, that's fair.
They
That's
were
fair.
comfortable with all three of the top quarterbacks.
And they should have been Burrow, Tua, and
I mean, Herbert's the
Herbert. They all get
least
on.
amount. Really, with Tua, if he's healthy, he's gonna be a good quarterback. The
100%.
question is he gonna be healthy?
Yeah.
Herbert, he has a lot of question marks, and like, it probably doesn't help that this offseason is short. Like,
Yeah.
there's virtual classrooms and stuff like that, but they're not gonna have like on the field improvements. I mean,
No,
they
yeah.
won't. I don't
That's
know.
right.
Are they going to be going in? I think training camp for new head coaches and coaches start like end of July, beginning August.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
going
So
in,
the question,
the question
the
is there
question
preseason games?
Yeah. The question is, are we going to see preseason games with fans? That's what we're. That's
I
where we're at
I
right
have
now.
a feeling we might have a game or two, and that's about it. And then we're gonna go right into the season, unless they push it back a little bit. Um,
Unless something crazy happens with this whole
and this
thing
is
going.
off topic, but I have a feeling this is gonna be one of the worst seasons with like players not being prepared or at not the top of their game. So we'll
Right.
see how that plays out. Um, yeah, the Panthers one I don't love. That's probably one of the first picks. I understand the position. I just don't necessarily love Derek Brown. I see him as a top 15 player. His potential is just to me is not the ceiling of what Kinlaw is.
Hmm.
But I mean, his floor is a lot better. He's a player who can stop the run right now. He's not as athletic as you'd like for a defensive tackle at his size. To me, he can disappear and be one of the first busts in the top 10, or at least not hit the ceiling of a player you want in the top 10. He'll
Right.
be like an average, okay defensive tackle.
All right, Mike. Run me back the. Do you have them in front of you?
Yes.
Run me back the first 10 picks so I can tell you my
One, Joe
surprise.
Burrow to the Bengals. Redskins is Chase Young. Lions is Jeff Okuda. Giants is Andrew Thomas. Dolphins is Tua. Los
Mhm.
Angeles is Justin Herbert. Panthers are Derek Brown. Arizona Cardinals probably got lucky with Isaiah Simmons falling to them. The
I would agree.
Jacks got C.J. Henderson. The Browns got Jedrick Willis, which they also, to me, got the best tackle in the draft.
I would say that the surprise to me is that Jedrick Willis didn't go to the Giants. As
I,
far
I'm
as
o-
I'm concerned,
I'm okay
he's
with
Mhm.
Andrew Thomas because I think I'm okay with any of the top three.
Right.
Outside of Becton, because to me Becton was not a top 10 pick
Right.
or a top 15 pick. I think he was more in the 2025 area. I mean, he's just
Right.
not. He has massive potential, but he's not able to. I don't know. Can he play his first year? I
Yeah.
mean, they're
Right.
gonna expect him as a top 15 pick to be.
Yeah. They're they're
He's
they're
just
gonna
not.
need him, dude. That line's gonna need him.
He's just not like if there's. I understand the position and what you need, but getting first year, right away production from him is going to be a challenge. Where they could have gone with a receiver or even The difference is I understand why they went with Becton over Wharfs, because Wharfs to me is probably going to end up playing a right tackle position or right now a guard,
Right.
but he's going to be able to play right now, where he
Mhm.
might have not been able to fit in with the Jets at this moment.
Right.
And that's why they went Becton. But I just don't know if that pick makes sense for now, where Adam Gase might need to win some games,
Right. No, I agree
to
with you there.
play. And I don't. I mean, I do like they got Mims in the second. And I also don't know if Mims fits Sam Darnold. He's not a deep threat type of receiver, fast line
Right.
speed. I don't know how this all is going to work out, but I like the pick.
He's more of like a Plaxico Burress. He's a big guy. He'll get up there.
He'll play a red zone
up and high point the ball, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to burn you down the field. And to me, I think back to what I was talking about with my surprise. I'm just surprised the Giants didn't take the best offensive tackle. I'm not saying Andrew Thomas isn't good. I just think that Willis was probably the best available of the options.
I agree. Willis was my number one.
And it just it shouldn't surprise me.
And
I'm a Cowboys fan.
To be fair, I think Andrew Thomas has the best potential to start right now. And I mean, I think his floor is very high, but his ceiling,
what they went.
His ceiling's not like where you would want for a left tackle. I think he's going to be a good left tackle for the rest of his whole career, but he won't be like a top 5 tackle. He'll probably be a top 10, top 5, which is fine, but you don't want that for a top 4 pick.
No, exactly. I think what they did, exactly your point, I think what they went for is more of, how can you help me now?
He's ready to play right now. He's the most, he's the most, he's the player who can play. You could stick in right now and be successful.
And that's
which
what
makes sense for Gettleman, though, if you think about it.
They need
basically, this is his third season. They need his quarterback to be successful. Saquon needs to stay healthy. They need this offense to go. I mean, this defense needs some work, but it makes sense why they went this way, because Gettleman wants to survive past this season.
All right, Mike, let's switch topics. Who is your most, for the pick that you were like, oh man, I can't believe they got
like that. Bad or good?
Let's do good first.
Good?
Good first.
Well, of course, CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys.
Thank you.
They got, if not 1A, 1B of the receivers.
100%. I'd say him and Judy are 1 and 2, dude.
Either way,
1 and 1A.
Even though he went third, I still can't believe the Raiders didn't pick him, which I understand why they went Henry Ruggs. Because, the speed aspect, he's a killer. If he hits big. He's Tyreek Hill.
Right. Yeah,
but if he doesn't hit, he was the third option on a really elite receiver core in Alabama. I think he had 700 yards last season.
I believe 800 something. Yeah, you're right about that.
Where Judy and the other guy, I forgot his name at the moment, the other top 10 pick receiver that they have, what's his name?
Who? What?
The Alabama? The Alabama. The player that's still with the Alabama. But you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
He had, those guys are better than Ruggs. I will say Judy, and I know I'm getting off topic because I'm talking about CeeDee Lamb, but Judy to me kind of reminds me of of Andrew Thomas, where he's going to be able to go in right away and be successful.
Right.
And he may not have the top end elite traits outside of route running.
Right.
But he's going to be able to be successful right away and be, to me, I think he has a chance to compete for Rookie of the Year. Where CeeDee Lamb, I think, has a very big ceiling where he may not produce where you would like for a first round pick, but he's also in an offense that has a lot of weapons. So either way,
but for me, how it works out is we drafted CeeDee Lamb.
It froze. Chase, give me a second.
Let's say, for example, that for a second that Michael Gallup, they're not able to keep him. You got a guy that's at least going to be on a few years of a rookie contract that you can throw in there to be the next guy with Cooper. For me, it's a win-win for the Cowboys in that aspect. If you're able to keep all three, your offense is going to be top 5 for the next 8 years. But if you're not, then okay, you're gonna have a top 10 offense for the next few years.
I think they can get out of Amari's contract after the 21 season.
If they need to, yeah, you're right.
Which more likely is gonna happen. To me, it makes sense to move on for Amari. You don't need him, especially if you keep Gallup. I mean, if Gallup keeps rising, he might be the receiver that ends up leaving. He might end up asking. I don't know how good can Gallup be. Is he a top 10 receiver?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know yet.
And
I think he can be, but we'll see.
I mean, right now he's probably a top 20, 25, top 30 receiver.
Definitely top 25, yeah.
And the thing with Amari that scares me is he does disappear in away games.
Yeah, he does.
If you're going on to me, where it kind of scares me is if you're in the playoffs and you're playing at, let's say, the Niners or something like that, and he disappears, you're paying him $20 million. He better show up, and that's another topic.
He did not disappear in his last playoff game against the Rams. He balled out.
For sure.
But he did that was the Rams were just destined, dude. The Rams were just so
Chase,
good.
Outside of CeeDee Lamb, who was the player for you that you were surprised that was there, or in a good way?
That the Cowboys were able to get?
No, anybody. Just in general in the draft. Outside of, I'm saying outside of CeeDee Lamb.
I know. I'm trying. God.
I took your guy.
Yeah, you took the guy I wanted. I guess I could say. Fuck. I would need to look at the fucking.
I'll give you a good one. I'll give you one more. Patrick Queen to the Ravens at 28.
You know what? That is a good one. I should have just said put him to the Ravens because the Ravens got another steal.
He ended up being the 4th linebacker taken.
Okay.
And he fell to the Ravens for the Ravens' biggest problem last season were their linebackers on that defense. So you're going in, you're getting a guy who has, he has a ceiling to be the best linebacker in this draft. More so than Isaiah Simmons because he actually has a position, right?
Yeah, right. Isaiah has multiple. Yeah.
Well, that's another things we'll have to talk about is Isaiah Simmons because the defensive coordinator came out saying that he's going to play linebacker. I think the will position.
Right.
But speaking about Patrick Queen, to me, I think he could be better than Devin White, who was drafted last season to the Bucks. Came out of LSU. He was I believe a top 10 pick. I think Patrick Queen's
also out of LSU, right?
Exactly. He was. That's why he has a 1 year. He only played one season. To me, he was the best all around linebacker in this draft. Speed.
I would agree with you there.
I mean, the production outside of 1 year is what the question is. He's a 1 year player, but I think the Ravens got a home run in that pick. I think they end up getting a player that ends up being a top 5 linebacker in this league.
I would agree. I literally think the only team that drafted better than the Cowboys overall was the Ravens.
For sure.
And that's saying something considering they didn't have any pick anywhere near the top 15, which is crazy.
I'm going to give you moving into players who I'm surprised were picked high. This is like towards a bad reasoning. The number one for me would be Damian Arnett for the Raiders.
Okay.
I just don't see him as a top 20 player. He was probably a second round pick. He doesn't have the speed that you want for a top corner. I mean, you're drafting him in the first round to be potentially a number 1 corner, even though he's going to he's being drafted to be the number 2 for the Raiders. Yeah. He ran a 4.56 if I recall in the 40. That's not good for a corner, especially a corner who doesn't have long arms. I mean, his arm length was 30 inches. That's pretty bad.
Right.
So to me, that's the pick. I'm concerned that the Raiders like the idea of him coming out of Ohio State. Jeff being next to Jeff Okudah. I'm just not sure if that's the player he's gonna be. He's gonna be a good player. I think he's gonna be a rotational slot corner in the NFL.
Okay. For me, you probably already know where I'm gonna go with this.
Are you going Jordan Love?
No. Does it have to be first round, or can we just talk about
it? Could be. It doesn't necessarily need to be first round.
Okay, because how in the world do the Eagles take a quarterback in the second round? I don't understand it.
I'll give it.
I'm not even an Eagles fan, and I don't get it.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that they are going to be
You
very
have been.
creative.
I've been seeing your tweets. I've been seeing you give him the benefit of the doubt.
I,
I've
I,
been seeing it.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that they're gonna be creative with him. I don't necessarily think, like, I don't think. Okay, there's two things that I'm thinking about. They're expecting, at worst case scenario, Carson Wentz gets injured. They want to have a player who can plug and play. He has some
That's
mobility.
fair. That's
He
fair.
could be. They could be creative with him. And on top of that, I really do believe that they're gonna use him as a Tyson Hill type of player. I mean, to me, I think
Right.
he's if you compare to, I think I saw Torrey Smith say, "How dare you like compare him to him? He's better than him." I'm like, yeah, but how is he gonna get on the field? Like, I would put him to get on the field. I would love him to play a Tyson Hill type of position, but he's like Tyson Hill, but on steroids. He can actually throw the ball.
Right.
He he can run the ball. Um, so really, you're using what the Saints are doing, but you might be able to do it on a better, a ton better, creatively. So we'll see how that plays out. I do understand that was a weird pick, and I would be upset if I was an Eagles fan.
No, I literally Carson sent me this thing, all the reactions to the picks leading up to the Cowboys pick, and then all this shit, and Eagles fans were just, dude, they were so mad we took CeeDee Lamb. It was insane. I love every minute of it, dude. I think the Eagles had to reach at receiver. I was gonna talk about Rieger a little bit, but I do like Rieger as a receiver. I just don't think he should have gone in the first round. But I get why the Eagles took him because they needed receivers.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt though, because again, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I like Rieger, and I did see him as a end of first round receiver. There wasn't teams moving, so they had to take a player. And then, where they were in the second round, there was a ton of receivers that went off the board between where they picked Rieger and where they picked Hurts. So it does make sense that even if they reached a little bit like the 49ers did with Brandon Ayuk, it makes sense to go get your guy, even though the 49ers did move up. I'm okay with it. Because I don't know who you end up in the second round. The 49ers, I mean, like I said, they didn't have a pick till the fifth round. So, and they saw him as equal as CeeDee Lamb in their rankings. So I think what happened is they had CeeDee Lamb at 1 and they had Ayuk at 2. So whatever. If that's your guy, you better make sure he hits though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Another person. Let's talk about Jordan Love.
Let's do it.
Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Where did I go?
No, you're back. You're back. Okay, so Jordan Love, drafted to the Packers. I see it. I really do think that I'm going to assume Aaron Rodgers is gone after the season. They're going to take a major hit in dead cap money. They'll spread it out over a couple years. And you're slowing down on me. I really do think Aaron Rodgers has one more season with the Packers, and then they're gonna trade him. I don't see, and people are saying when is Jordan Love gonna play? Well, it's not up to Aaron Rodgers, right? Oh, you're lagging on me, sir.
Aaron Rodgers? It's up to the what?
Okay, sorry, you were lagging.
Well, you're lagging a little bit on my end, so maybe it's
both of us.
Both of us.
Okay.
But it's not up to Aaron Rodgers. It's never been up to Aaron Rodgers.
That's the thing. People are like, how dare they? How's Jordan Love ever gonna get on the field? Aaron Rodgers won't let him. Like, since when is it up to Aaron Rodgers? I mean, in a year,
Aaron Rodgers to get off the field, he's off the field. They can't tell him to. He can't tell them he wants to stay on the field. He doesn't have that authority.
And like I said, I just don't think Jordan Love sits more in a season. I think one season, and I believe he's going to be ready to play.
Yeah, I agree there.
And at max, it's 2 seasons. But I really, to me, I don't know how the Packers get any better this season. I think they're a worse team than they were last year.
I honestly didn't think they were going to be as great as they were last year. So the fact that they would regress to the mean wouldn't surprise me at all.
And I'm not saying they're not making the playoffs, but didn't they win 13 games last season?
Yeah, they're not winning more than 10 this year.
I don't think so. And I mean, the Bears are a little better. I'm gonna assume that Mitch Trubisky doesn't become. I believe Nick Foles wins that job. I think they're gonna end up being closer to the playoffs than they think. The Vikings did take a step back, moving on with Stefan Diggs and Griffin. So, and then the Lions have to win games. They have to right now. If they're gonna keep you know Quinn and their head coach Matt Patricia, they have to make the playoffs. So they're going to be
Yeah, they have
competitive.
to.
It just depends on Matthew Stafford if he's injured. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they fire everybody.
It wouldn't be surprising.
So, what do you think of the Packers this season?
I mean, I was a full believer in that their defense was the reason they were as good as they were last year. Obviously, Aaron Jones helped out a lot. Devontae Adams being hurt, along with some of their other receivers.
And that is a big
hurt,
thing. I will give them the benefit of that with that. That Devontae Adams, I mean, he did not look like the same player the entire season, but they weren't force feeding him the ball like they used to.
Yeah, no, that's
which is another question for fantasy. Where is he going fantasy?
Yeah, I honestly I don't know that I would take Devontae Adams as a number one wide receiver next year in fantasy. I don't know that I would.
He'd probably be a low end one just because he's still Devontae Adams.
I mean, he's gonna be definitely gonna be a top number 2, like one of those guys that you say you get Michael Thomas.
But I drafted him. I drafted him in the first round last season, at the back of the first.
I just don't know that he'll go in the first round.
Oh no, he won't. He'll be like a 3rd or 4th round pick. In my opinion, probably 3rd round pick.
I would say 3rd, yeah.
But sticking with, like, they drafted a running back who is very similar to Derrick Henry, and then they draft a tight end that's going to be kind of used in the use check, Kyle Shanahan, fullback, H-back. I mean, my problem with the Packers is that they're copying identities and not creating their own identity, right? So they're trying to be Tennessee and they're trying to be the Niners, right? It's not going to work that way.
Right.
You're going to fail.
Right.
So
that's what I'm basically saying, dude. Like, it just seems like the Packers are trying too hard to make something of what they have instead of just doing their own thing.
Unfortunately, the NFL is very much a very copycat league. But when you're trying to take identities from other teams and make it your own, it's just like that's a massive identity. You want to pound the rock with a guy who's very similar to Derrick Henry. That's why you drafted him in the 2nd round, where people thought you reached for him, which I believe he reached. I mean, I think PFF had him as an undrafted player.
Yeah.
So it's concerning that I think the Packers are. If Jordan Love doesn't hit, they're gonna be very bad very quickly.
No, 100%. If Jordan Love doesn't come out and I won't say set the world on fire, but if he doesn't at least, do Daniel Jones type things when he starts,
yeah,
people are gonna have his head on a platter.
So, is there a chance that Aaron Rodgers gets benched this season for Jordan Love?
Hey, I'll go as far as to say I think there's a chance Aaron Rodgers gets traded mid-season.
The problem with that is I don't know who's. That's a lot of dead money. That's my only reason why I'm are they gonna move on from after one season? That Kyle says so. Our friend Kyle is a Packers fan. He was on our live stream for the draft, and he says it's a team friendly deal, but not really because they can't move on from him.
No, I don't think it's very team friendly. I don't think it's very team friendly.
They're stuck with him. Like if they really cared about dead money, they're stuck with him for another 2 to 3 seasons, and at that, they still have dead money.
Like I said, I mean, the only team I can see taking a chance on him is the Patriots, but I just don't.
Could you imagine?
What's the compensation you're going to get there?
So the big issue. So why to me, Aaron Rodgers is not the same quarterback because he's not as athletic as he used to be. His athleticism has kind of been hampered with injuries and age. So with him, his drop off is massive compared to a guy like Tom Brady, who kind of lasted long because he's not using his legs to move around, and crazy shots of he just throws it downfield and it makes it happen. It's not happening. I mean, Aaron Rodgers every once in a while this past season had that, but it wasn't the same. He's not the
You
same
remember?
player.
You remember the year that I think it was 2014 when he was on the hampered hamstring and he willed that team to that win.
Yeah.
Ever since then, it's just been downhill. Like after that, it just seemed like he was just.
I mean, he's
has not been
35. I mean, it's like Lamar Jackson when he's 35, if he doesn't advance himself to the next levels, he's not going to be a quarterback you want to be starting at that age. Look at Cam Newton. I mean, you take away his running ability, he's not a good quarterback anymore.
Did Cam Newton sign with anyone, by the way?
We got to talk about Jameis Winston, but
yeah, we do need to talk about Jameis Winston.
Let's finish up this draft real quick.
Okay. Let's go to the player that you're that a team took that you're like, okay, I see why they took him, but I don't agree with the pick. I don't know if we've done that one.
Well,
yet.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, okay,
would be my big one.
For me, it's I mean, I guess we kind of went on this already, but for me, it's Andrew Thomas. I just don't know why the Giants weren't looking more for the best guy they could get.
I mean, we know why. It just in a couple years we're gonna see him as an okay tackle, not an elite tackle.
I mean, who's the one that they took a while back? That's not even on the team anymore.
Nate Soldier, but he's still on the team.
No, not Soldier.
Are you talking? I know who you're talking about. He's actually turned into a good guard.
Yeah, but he wasn't when he was at the Giants.
For sure. He has attitude problems. Yeah. But I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I don't know. I think the Giants try too hard to force picks as opposed to just letting the draft flow.
I will say
that's why they ended up with Saquon, and they didn't need Saquon.
I will say that offense could be very good this season if one
can be, but
they have.
Won't.
I mean, if Evan Ingram can show up and be how he looked his rookie year,
that's a big if,
and not be injured.
Yeah, injured is a big if.
They could.
Oh, I had him on my fantasy team last year. It's a big if.
They could be very annoying for the Cowboys and the Eagles.
We got a Jarwin who actually stays healthy and who's
my guess
opinion, is a better athlete, but
no, Evan Ingram is like a receiver who's playing tight end.
Have you not seen Blake Jarwin?
Yeah, but
he killed the Giants for 3 touchdowns in a single game. The dude's a baller.
Outside of that, your Cowboy, baller. Your hype.
He's a baller. Don't sleep on.
Oh, you got frozen. Okay, so what do you think about the Trent Williams trade to the Niners?
I mean, you guys needed a tackle since Staley retired. I'm not saying it makes you worse, but it doesn't make you as much better than you already were. I think it basically is an even keel move.
So there's two things for me.
I mean, you probably got more opinions, but go for it.
So before this whole cancer saga and this whole mess with the Redskins, Trent Williams was one of the best left tackles in the league.
Yeah.
Now, after having a tumor removed from his brain, having 300 stitches in his head, he looks good in training. We'll see how he plays out. But Joe Staley was not the same player last season, and I love Joe Staley. So, like I said, this is either going to be equal or a little bit of an improvement from Joe Staley. So I'm okay with it, especially since they only gave up a 5th round and a 3rd round pick in 2021. It doesn't make us worse. So that's the good thing about it. My big question is, if we didn't end up trading for Trent Williams and we had drafted Ken Law and Brandon Ayuk, what was how are we going to replace Joe Staley? And luckily it all worked out. Like, this is the best outcome the Niners could have had, because Trent Williams is probably more ready to win right now for the Niners than any of these tackles that are drafted. I mean, these tackles. Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, sorry, I went to check my phone battery. It's at 27%. We're good.
Trent Williams, he's a plug and play for a Super Bowl contender team. They couldn't roll with a rookie at left tackle, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
what do you think of this 2020 draft? Like, how did you like the process of watching it on TV? Like the whole
Honestly,
virtual draft.
honestly, if it makes players like CeeDee Lamb fall to 17 to the Cowboys, and players like that drop to the Cowboys and the Cowboys ended up getting, I'm all for this happening every year, even when you can take them to regular stadiums, because I love it. The Cowboys.
I don't know what you're saying. You're
Like
freezing.
this. But all jokes aside, I did like how they were able to add like a different element to it, but I don't know that you can do this.
I thought the draft coverage was not very good. I
No,
thought
that's
they
what I'm
had
saying.
I
That's
think
where it
they had
lags.
too many people. I think they had too many people. Get rid of Booger. Like ESPN just fire Booger. Like
It should, yeah.
he's not good at his job at all.
I think I told you. I think I told you. I think I told you on the live stream. It essentially looked like they were doing Sports Center.
Exactly.
It looked so weird.
They had too many people. I would have loved, and unfortunately, I watched it on ESPN, and they did have Daniel Jeremiah on. I just wish they had more of him.
Yeah.
And did you watch that NFL Network?
I did watch it.
Was Rich Eisen running it?
No, he was not. He was on the
ABC?
charity things on the charity
Stream.
They did a charity stream. Yeah, that's where he was on.
That was my. I wish Rich Eisen was running it. I wish I was just watching a regular NFL Network draft because it's just a ton. I like Rich Eisen. Daniel Jeremiah, I think, didn't get enough TV air time, and they were putting like Booger was getting. They were going to Booger more than anyone else, and I'm like, this guy's the worst.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
you know how you get better at offensive tackle? You draft an offensive tackle. All right, that's how you do that. Like, thanks, Captain Obvious. Like everything he said, like they drafted the best receiver of the draft because he fell to him. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Like, duh. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
for sure. What? Now moving on to this whole situation with coronavirus and potentially canceling or something happening with all these different sports. I gotta assume there's gonna be some sort of playoffs for the NBA at some point. Regardless, to me,
Yes.
if they end up
Yes.
starting in July, it is what it is. And if it goes into September or something, I think it is what it is. You play it out. You start the NBA season late, and you move on. And with, I will say, I wouldn't mind getting rid of the whole 7-game and either playing a 4-game series or kind of having a March Madness tournament where it's one game, you win it or you lose it. I wouldn't mind that for one season. It would make things you make, and to be honest with you, it wouldn't be the worst thing if you make the whole league, like if they had the whole league play it and they had them all teams in Las Vegas. The Lakers are playing the Warriors for the 1 seed.
Right.
1 seed versus the 16th seed. I would be okay with that because that would be fun. And it would be quick, and now we don't have to watch a 7-game series. It moves quickly. I mean, could you imagine though? The Warriors are healthy. They go in and they knock out the Lakers. How pissed off would you be?
You would love that. It wouldn't happen. The Warriors could be healthy
No,
right now.
they're trash.
Without Kevin Durant, they're not beating the Lakers.
They won't happen.
They couldn't beat LeBron James without Kevin Durant. You think they're gonna beat him without? Or sorry, they beat him with. Kevin Durant.
They beat him once without Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but they did. LeBron didn't have Anthony Davis, aka Kyrie.
For sure.
So yeah, no, it's the same. It's not the same.
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
could you imagine though how if it was a 1-game and the Warriors knocked him out?
I mean, if they knocked him out, then that's what happens. But I would.
Would you be okay with a 1-game tournament series?
I'd be fine with it because I think the Lakers could beat any team in a 1-game series. Any team.
I think it would make sense. Bring everyone to Vegas or Orlando. Have it within 30 days, July to the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
Start July 4th. The Warriors versus I don't know who's the 8th seed right now.
What the eighth seed in the West?
Yes.
Fuck. I have no. Honestly,
Are
I
the
could not
Kings in it?
tell you. No, I think it was the Mavericks or some shit.
Pelicans?
Oh no
Or
no
the
no no!
Memphis?
It was Memphis.
Memphis. So
Memphis and the Pelicans were fighting for it.
so I think Memphis has it right now. They're the
I
eighth
could
seed.
not tell you. I could not tell
Let
you
me
that.
tell you right now.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't looked at. I haven't looked at the standings in a while. Oh my god, I have hiccups.
you have the hiccups.
Yeah, I have not. I have not looked at the standings in a while, so
Okay,
I couldn't tell
so
you.
for the West, it is the Grizzlies. They're up by
Okay.
3 games. Yeah, so it'd be the Lakers, Grizzlies, the Clippers, Mavs, the Nuggets, Rockets, and the Jazz Thunder. That's such a boring series.
Oh, 100%. Jazz Thunder, dear
At
God.
least the Nuggets, Rockets has some players. Oh, I
Yeah.
wonder how Rudy Gobert is gonna be able to coexist right now.
Honestly, I'd be shocked if they don't trade him, to be honest.
I mean, they can't move him they're in the playoffs.
No, not right now, but the off season.
Yeah. And then for the East, it's the Bucks, Magic, which that's a hell of a boring game. I'm seeing that's a sweep. The Raptors versus the Nets, which the Celtics versus the 76ers. That's probably the best game series. And
Sixers could win that series,
the
yeah.
Heat versus the Pacers.
Honestly, don't sleep on the Pacers. The Pacers, if they had Oladipo back last few games, they've been looking better. They were looking better before the season stopped.
I'm curious to know how. Too bad the Trailblazers. They were so close to make it, and they're healthy now. If they had to play a 2 weeks worth of games, they might be able to get in over the Grizzlies, and they're healthy.
Yeah, they probably would with Nurkic coming back.
Yeah. And they're probably not a team you'd want to play in the playoffs. Not saying the Lakers, but one of these other teams.
Yeah, no, that's a team that the Nuggets or the Jazz definitely don't want to see in the playoffs.
So, how do you think this coronavirus is going to affect the teams and the players? They're not practicing together. I'm not sure if they are at this moment. I'm sure they're coming together at some point. And to me, you got to give them 2 weeks worth of practices and some scrimmages or something, or a week worth of games.
I told you this the other day. I think what they would do, I mean, it looks like, I'm not sure about the other teams, but from what I've seen with the Lakers, it looks like LeBron's working out, AD's been working out, Dudley, all those guys have been working out. So I think what you got to do is you got to have some practices, you have some scrimmages, maybe not against other teams, but maybe team scrimmages for like a week, and then you're able to kind of get
pre-playoff games.
And then maybe you play the last week, like maybe a week's worth of games, like 5-6 games, and then that finishes out the seeding, and then you start the playoffs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
What's gonna suck is, let's say the Lakers are coming in hot right before this happened, and if for whatever reason they come in cold, it's not gonna be. I mean, we just don't know.
At this point, I really don't care what happens. If the Lakers coming cold and they suck, fine. I just want the NBA to finish.
For sure.
I just want a champion to get crowned. I don't know whether the Lakers will win it or not, whether if it had not stopped or not. I just want this season to finish because this is the first time I've seen the Lakers. We'll have seen the Lakers in a playoff series
since Kobe.
So I just want that back, man.
Since Kobe.
Yep, and they gotta do it for Kobe, man.
This is what sucks, though, is that they were coming in hot in the right time, going into the playoffs.
They literally just beat the Clippers and the Bucks in the same weekend, dude. They were rolling.
And the Clippers were kind of playing weird.
Said they were going to. They were rolling. It was gonna get so much fun. Fucking Corona had to ruin it all.
So baseball, to me they have to start by July 4th. I don't think they can go any further.
I think July 4th is when I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get started by June.
But that's what I'm saying. The maximum date, they have to start by July 4th. Because they really can't go any further into the NFL season because no one's going to watch baseball as is. Right?
Right.
I think,
unless it's the World Series.
Unless it's the World Series. But still after that, I don't think people. I think people would much rather watch an NFL game than the World Series and a regular NFL game.
But the only thing I will say to that is, when we've been without sports for what, however long we've been without sports, you don't think people are going to be trying to watch as many sports as they can when they're on TV from now on? That's just another thing to think about.
For sure. I think
But
it also helps
I would
baseball
agree
that they. And this is a test to see how baseball looks with a shorter season.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
it is.
to me, this is gonna make. I bet their viewership, like you're saying, is gonna skyrocket because now 80 games. That's a lot of games that actually matter, compared
Yeah,
to, the whole season where they have what is it 160,
162. Yeah.
162.
Mhm.
I would half those games don't matter, or at least quarter of those games don't matter.
Yeah.
So people are
Yeah.
now
No,
gonna watch the game.
literally, the first 2 months of the season is just spring training extended. After until fucking May, June, the season doesn't really start.
I'm look just to push it out. May starts tomorrow,
Yep.
so they have 2 months to hopefully get this figured out.
I still believe when it's all said and done, NBA is going to finish. NBA, or sorry, I already said NBA. MLB is going to have their season, whether it's smaller or not. They're going to have a season, and NFL is going to have a normal. Everything's going to be normal minus training camp.
The question is, oh, you disappeared.
Yeah, my low power just came on.
Okay.
It's all good.
The
good.
question is, the NBA, they have a lot less teams come playoff time that they have to worry about. They can all
Yeah.
go to one city. You can't do that with baseball. You can't
No,
have
I know.
all. You
Yeah.
can't have all the teams coming to one city playing. It
Right.
makes it a ton tougher, especially in California, where they may not start, or they might be a lot stricter for longer. To me, I think California ends up being one of the last states that.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, as long, I don't want to get political with this shit, but as long as Newsom's running this fucking state, we're screwed.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
absolutely
stop on the political
We're
thing,
not gonna-
but
We
sticking
don't want to go there.
to
But yeah.
specifically to California. I mean, or California, Washington, Oregon. Looks like Nevada is also in the same
Nevada,
timeline
yep.
as us. I think
Yep.
there might be a state I'm missing. It's gonna
No,
be.
you got it right. You got Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and California. Those are the four.
I think there's one more. I think it might be like New Mexico or something like that. It's also falling in.
Maybe I missed that.
But
Yeah.
are you gonna move the Dodgers to playing in like Texas? They're gonna go to a small one of those minor league stadiums that are not gonna be used and use that for a couple months.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man. Yeah, I mean,
The
at the end of the day,
Giants?
you're gonna have to do what you got to do.
I mean, the good thing is they aren't using those minor stadiums, which actually I think minor league baseball is going to disappear here soon because they're not going to play this
No,
season.
yeah, it came out the other day that they're basically not gonna have a minor league season.
But isn't the commissioner trying to get rid of minor league as a whole?
I don't think so. I think it's just because
No, like
you don't want
beforehand.
to. You don't want to put all those players that are up and coming at risk on top of what's the really need for a minor like it. Like MLB is the end all be all. You don't need minor leagues when you got MLB.
Yeah, but if you look at towns, small towns, or towns that actually have these, I mean, a lot of people go out and watch minor league baseball.
Yeah, I mean we live in Visalia where the Rawhide basically are the only form of entertainment we got for baseball.
And now whoever owns, Visalia is gonna lose a lot of money from that.
Yeah,
They're not gonna play
that's
any
true.
baseball. I mean, no.
Like I said, sorry, go for it.
They're not gonna. I mean, we can't. They're not gonna have players in the. They're not gonna have fans in the stadiums, so no one's gonna watch the game.
I just think that this whole thing with the Corona shit. I don't want to get political, but it's basically making me get political. It just needs to end. You just need to just open everything up, take the precautions that essential. I literally work at Costco. I've seen all the precautions we take. Just put that same precaution into everyday life with everything else and just move on. Like, it's just no point in living in a damn bubble for this long. It's only going to
For
make
sure.
matters worse. Like, people are going to start looting. People are going to start losing their minds.
Yeah. Now, last couple things.
Okay.
Do you think? Who do you think? Last thing. Who do you think is your NBA Finals teams from both sides?
Bucks and Lakers.
Bucks, Lakers.
Bucks, Lakers.
See, Yeah, I'm gonna say the Lakers, and
If I didn't say the Bucks, I would probably say the Sixers, but I still think it's the Bucks. I
yeah,
don't have
uh,
confidence in the Celtics. I don't believe in the fuck. What's their fucking name? The team that's been fighting.
though.
The I don't believe in the Heat that they have what it takes. I think it's
Yeah,
Bucks.
it's gonna be the Bucks.
I think so.
I mean, man, the East is trash.
It really is. After the top 3, 4, you got the Sixers, Heat, Celtics, and Bucks, and after that, it's all
Because
garbage.
if you hadn't, the funny thing is that the Thunder and Rockets ended up with the same record.
Yeah, yeah. That trade for Chris Paul really worked out for you, huh, Houston?
Thunder. What happens with Chris Paul after the season? They still have him on season. Who wants
I
him?
I still fully believe he wants to get traded, or he'll end up on another team.
Well, I think he ends up on the other team. I think he kind of showed he has value still. He's a better player than how he played with the Rockets.
Watch out for the Lakers. Chris Paul to the
He
Lakers.
who I'm gonna say you guys. I don't want to take on that contract.
I'm just kidding.
My
I'm
guess
just
is that
kidding.
the Heat are gonna try again. I don't know. I just don't see that the Thunder are gonna buy him out. I just don't see it.
Warriors are gonna go trade for Chris Paul.
No, they don't. Yeah, because we need more. We need another point guard.
Just joking.
This
Mike. I'm
draft, how do you
sorry.
feel with it?
What do you mean?
This coming NBA draft.
Fuck. At this rate, they're probably gonna have to do it via.
I mean, they're gonna copy the NFL.
Yeah, it's actually gonna have to be via Zoom, basically. I really don't know. How are you gonna do the lottery? Is what I want to know.
Virtually. That's easy though.
I mean, virtually, but how? People are already having issues with the draft being rigged as it is, or the lottery being rigged as it is. Now you're doing it virtually.
They to me,
Yikes.
you know how they
Yikes.
don't show the actual picking of the picks?
Yeah,
Why can't they just show that?
that I know. Yeah,
Like,
maybe
not
you
hard.
add that into this year.
So what do
Maybe
you think of Anthony Edwards as the number one potential player coming out of this draft? Who do you to you is the best player in this draft?
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know anything about college basketball right now because
Uh,
it's been out for so long.
yeah, well the
I
biggest
cannot even
issue,
tell
I
you.
mean James Wiseman, the center, his biggest issue,
Wiseman's probably the number
he just
one.
didn't play this season because of all the issues that he had with NCAA.
He's probably still the number one pick.
I think he ends up being the number one pick if the Warriors have the pick.
Okay.
LaMelo Ball, though, if he goes to the Knicks, or I think that's a bad situation for him. I don't know where he goes. You know,
I think his best situation would try to wind his way back up in the Pelicans and play with LaMelo or with Alonzo. But I mean, obviously,
they
he's
don't
not
have.
gonna.
I don't. He's not. That's not gonna happen though.
No, he's not gonna get that low. No.
Let me get a mock draft coming up right here. I just want to
Yeah.
see specifically
that.
who. So Cleveland, I didn't think of that. Cleveland, didn't he go to Cleveland for
Who?
Spire when he went to Spire? LaMelo Ball, wasn't that in Cleveland?
Possibly.
I think Spire's in Cleveland. Could you imagine? He did not like the cold. He goes back.
No.
He goes to Cleveland. Okay, so it looks like Minnesota might have a top 3 pick.
Not
They
surprised.
haven't. I mean, he can't. I don't see them picking LaMelo Ball. They move. They could move him to shooting guard, I guess.
I guess you could. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Detroit and New York is probably the only other options. I mean, Barrett didn't play like he did this, like he was supposed to as a top 3 pick, or is he the second pick, or top 3? He was the 3rd pick. So, I mean, they could again. LaMelo can play shooting guard.
Yeah.
I mean, he has that option. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just happy that Lonzo looked like he's progressing into the player we all thought he would be.
I really thought he was going to be a stud. I hate to see this not on the Lakers right now, but I mean, I knew he was going to be a beast. I still have faith in the guy, and I still am.
Like I said, I thought he was gonna be a good guard. I don't think he'll ever be an elite point guard, but that's okay. Him and Zion are like the perfect match for each other. Zion's gonna be the star, and Lonzo will be his Birdman. He'll be his. What are you doing?
I don't know. What am I doing?
Okay. Anyways, we'll end the pod there. Check us out. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Hopefully, we have some stuff that we can go
hopefully
into.
something else will come out about the season starting.
Chase, you need to get into. Maybe we could start. We can have a fantasy football ranking of these rookies.
Yeah, we can start doing that. Yeah.
We'll start looking into the NBA draft, and we'll have some talks about that. And we gotta have a pre-playoff podcast, and hopefully we can have one soon.
Yeah, we just need to get back into the flow of sports, because I'd be lying to you if I said I'm kind of stopped. Not necessarily following, but like college basketball and stuff, just because there's been I'm used to March Madness and being able to follow that and get my idea from that, and there's nothing. So it's just been rough.
In 2021, the NCAA is going to allow players to make money off endorsements.
Yes. Yeah, you know why they're doing that?
Because
players are going to the G League now and starting to get money. So yeah, that's how the NCAA is going to either fold or they're going to have to adapt to the times.
But the thing is, nobody's going to go to the NCAA. Nobody's going to go to the G League.
Jalen, literally two of the top players in this year's recruiting class went to the G League.
The thing is, though, who watches the G League?
I don't know, but their players are starting to.
I understand they're gonna make $500,000, but look at Zion. But let's say if Zion had gone to the G League compared to the NCAA, it's different.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not different, but at the end of the day, the NCAA is gonna have to start paying their players.
Well, they won't pay somebody else.
A lot of them.
Other people are gonna pay players.
Exactly.
So Nike's gonna have to actually go into high school and offer players contracts in high school now.
Yep, exactly.
So
that's exactly where it's going. Exactly.
It's crazy.
It is.
Now I wish I was in this. I wish I could take advantage. I wish I had some skills.
Hey, they're bringing back NCAA football for video game wise.
Are they?
Yep.
Because of this?
Yep, and the players are going to get paid for the likeness on it. Yep.
That's crazy. The players are going to make so much money in college. They're going to stay in college longer.
It's ironic because that's what the NCAA should be wanting, but they don't, and they're surprised why players leave early. Yeah, so they can go get money, dude.
I mean,
you pay your players, they'll stay for 4 years.
If you're getting paid a couple mil to play in college basketball, I would do it.
You'll play 4 years. You'll play 4 years.
I think
100%.
I don't know 4 years. People might play 2 to 3 compared. Like if you're a top
at least
recruit,
2 to 3 as opposed to one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be interesting.
Anyway, guys, it's been fun. It's been nice.
Chase is gonna go to sleep here soon.
I'm not gonna sleep, but I gotta get some. I'm gonna play some MLB The Show with some of my buddies right now. So
all right. Well,
everybody stay safe out there and live life.
Peace.
And remember, sports rule all.